Speaking is not a talent, it's a skill. Can you roll your tongue? Genetically, you either can or you can't. It's a talent you're born with or you're not. There's no amount of tongue training that you can do that will turn you from a non-tongue roller into a tongue roller. If you approach speaking in this way, if you see speaking as just a talent you're either born with or you're not, you're never going to improve. You have to see speaking for what it is, a skill that you proactively and deliberately focus on and improve. Go and watch my first ever YouTube video. It's way down if you scroll down the video section. I'm going to put it as a suggested video on this video as well. It is truly awful. It is bad. But I knew that if I wanted to get to where I wanted to be as a speaker and make the impact that I wanted to make, I needed to learn how to speak on camera. I needed to learn how to film videos. And so I dedicated myself to filming a video every single week, posting it on my channel, no matter how bad it was. That's nearly 6 years ago at the time of recording this video. I assure you, I promise you, if you record a video a week, 6 years, 52 weeks, that's over 300 videos. If you can film 300 videos, you will be a better speaker. You will speak better on camera. It's a process of skill development that you have to commit to and focus on. And through this process, I've learned that there are 9 principles of mastery. 9 principles of how you build your skill as a speaker, and ultimately how you start to aim for that mastery that all of us want to have as speakers. Of being fluent, articulate, composed, confident, charismatic. All of that comes through honoring these principles. What I'm going to do with you in this video is I'm going to share the first 3 of those principles with you to give you a little bit of a start and a little bit of a foundation for how you can ultimately go on to improve your speaking and develop that skill. The first principle is identify. Identify what is the specific skill you want to develop. And you might think that this is public speaking. It's not. If you're going to develop and improve, you have to really hone in on what aspect of speaking you want to improve. That's what I did all of those years ago. I said, I just want to get confident and comfortable on camera. So I could speak on camera and not feel nervous, not stumble over my words, not make mistakes, not go off on tangents. That was what I wanted to focus and hone in on. What do you want to focus and hone in on? Do you hesitate, repeat yourself too often? Do you find that you speak at a very monotone pace and you don't really vary things up and it sounds a little bit dry and dull? Maybe you don't gesture enough. Maybe you're a bit too frantic with your gestures. Whatever it is, hone in and focus on that specific aspect of your speaking. You've got to nail it down in order to be able to develop it. If you're just trying to become a better speaker across the board, it doesn't give you a point of attack. It doesn't give you a specific area that you can start to feed the other principles into. And you'll see, even just as I introduce the next 2 to you, and certainly when you find out what the whole 9 are, you'll see why you can't just focus on, I want to be a better speaker. It needs to be a lot more targeted and nailed down than that. Principle number 2 is stretch. You've got to stretch yourself beyond your current capabilities. And there's an analogy that I like to use here. If you are a yoga practitioner or you've ever done a little bit of yoga, there's this fine balance between stretching and hurting yourself. If you go into the yoga studio and you sit cross-legged on the floor for the whole session, you're not really going to improve. You're not testing yourself. But at the same time, you can't go into the studio and watch the pros sticking legs behind their head and go, I'm going to do that as well. No, you're going to do yourself an injury. You've got to find that place where you're stretching beyond your current capabilities, but not so far that it's out of reach. Looking at that specific aspect of your speaking, how can you stretch beyond your current capabilities? How can you do something that's testing and challenging, but ultimately isn't completely out of your league? Let's say that you've got stage fright, and you go, I know, if I speak in front of 1,000 people, that will cure my stage fright. No, that's a ridiculous goal. That's way too far out in advance. But if you say, all that I'm going to do is just speak to my dogs at home, that's not going to help you with your stage fright either. You need to find that stretch target that's testing, challenging, stretches you beyond your current capabilities, but ultimately means that you don't do yourself an injury. I'll tell you what principle number 3 is in just a second, but if you want to find out what all 9 principles of mastery are, then you can find them in my book, Rise and Inspire. Literally, I'm going to show you. There we go. 9 principles of mastery. Those are the 9 principles that are going to help you to develop your skill in any and all aspects of your speaking. Follow those 9 principles, do it consistently, you are going to be an excellent speaker. That's my promise to you. Rise and Inspire is available on Amazon, ebook, paperback, audiobook, all the formats. It's all there for you. What are you waiting for? Do you want to become a master speaker? You're going to find out how in Rise and Inspire. Now, enough teasing about all 9. Let me round things off and share with you what principle number 3 is. And principle number 3 is measure. You've got to measure what you're trying to improve, because if you don't have a form of measurement, you don't actually know whether you're improving. How do you know if you're saving more money if you don't look at your bank account? How do you know if you're getting stronger if you don't measure how much weight you can lift at the gym? It's the same with speaking. And sometimes it might seem difficult to put measurements onto speaking, because speaking can sometimes be quite subjective and a little bit abstract at times, but there's always a way that you can find to put some hard objective numbers to it. You can look at how many times you use hesitations. Literally just count them. If you can film yourself speaking, or you go to a speaking club like Toastmasters, get people to literally count how many times you so you know. And you can see whether that number gets shorter and shorter over time. If you're looking to film video, you can look at things like how many views the video has. And not just views, what's the watch time of your videos? Are people tuning out after 10 seconds? And I know you haven't because you're still watching this. Or are people staying for minutes and minutes and minutes? Are they watching most or all of your video? You've got to measure what you're trying to improve, because otherwise you'll never know whether you improve or not. So there you have it. 3 simple principles. Identify the specific skill you want to target, the specific aspect of speaking. Look at how you can stretch beyond your current capabilities, and then find a way to measure it. That's what I've been doing over these years with these YouTube videos. And I can see the difference in myself on camera. I can feel the difference when I'm speaking on camera. And if you don't believe me, why don't you click on that suggested video, go watch that first ever YouTube video that I did, and you can judge for yourself. Do the 9 principles work?